Welcome to episode 5 of Life of a TV Addict. I'm Sasha, and I got my friend here.
Notorious FPG.
And this is a special edition for the Oscars! Okay, so this week we had the Oscars, and before we get to the most, talked about thing that happened,
Right.
let's start with Jimmy Kimmel as the host. I thought he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I saw he got a lot of hate online.
How?
Well, I think some people don't find him funny.
How?
But I like Jimmy Kimmel, and I love the bringing in the busload of people. That was probably my favorite thing.
That was one of the things that I had as the highlight of the show.
Right.
Was him bringing it, and I guess it was because the way the people acted.
Right.
And the guy.
Nobody was over the top, but they were like so shocked. They were kind of like just being themselves, which was funny.
And the guy kissing all the women's hands was so funny. I know they were looking like, if you don't stop kissing my damn hand.
They probably passed around a lot of Purell after that, because Nicole Kidman looked like she was not there for him kissing all of us.
Yes, that's all. I was like, oh my God. That part was like the best. Mm-hmm. Then he tried to do the tweets with Donald Trump. That didn't go over so well. Yeah. Because I guess they didn't work it out or whatever. But I honestly, I don't see.
The one thing I wasn't crazy about, and this is just, I don't know why, it came off weird to me, was him picking up the kid from Lion as the Lion King and holding him up. I wasn't a fan of that. I ain't gonna say it came off as racist, but the kid, like from the pre-show, he does not speak much English. He had an interpreter on the red carpet. Oh, so when Jimmy Kimmel is talking to him, if you knew that, if you sort of pre-show, you're like, this kid don't understand what you're saying to him, what you're asking him. I don't know that he's comfortable with you lifting him up like.
Okay, so I didn't see the pre-show. When he was talking to him, I took it as that this kid isn't familiar with the Lion King because look how young he is, so he doesn't get it. Yeah. Whereas though I totally got it.
Right.
I didn't take. I don't know. I thought that was the whole thing, that the kid just didn't understand what the Lion King was. Okay. I don't know. I just love Jim. I literally was like, they should never look for another host of the Oscars. I don't think anybody has done a better job recently, other than like Ellen has done a great job. Yeah. I think he's the man. I don't know. I was there for Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed him as the host, and he is one of my favorite hosts. I think he gets it. He enjoys all the movies. He gets little inside jokes that maybe people who have watched them but aren't in the mix get. So I do enjoy it, and he doesn't try to go over the top. Like, I couldn't see like the guy who hosted the Grammys hosting the Oscars. Like, that whole thing, I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Yeah, I don't feel him that much. And the only other people I could think, but I don't want them to take him away from the Emmys, is Tina Fey. And what is the other girl that she does it with?
Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler. Yeah. I mean, I could watch them all night, all day. Yeah. So those are only other people.
I've always enjoyed Whoopi and Billy Crystal, though. I like them as hosts.
Because that's early, 90?
Yeah, but Billy Crystal's hosted in the 2000s, I think. I remember correctly. They did a little throwback hosting.
Yeah, his ass better stay at the Clippers game. He ain't got time to be hosting. I know one of the things that he received criticism for was that, which everybody already knows that by now, what happened at the Oscars when they announced the wrong thing. And when he got up, he said, well, y'all just keep that one. And people took it as him saying it literally. And I'm like, no, it was a joke.
Right.
Like,
no, I didn't. I saw that as funny.
I did too.
And I think he was just like, that moment was so awkward. It was just trying to spell. I think the tension he probably knew was already there from having to give it away. And probably the people who weren't immediately realized that there was a mistake. They were probably like, the people from La La Land were probably, wait, what do you mean? What's happening? So it was probably just to like, hey, calm down. I know it's a mistake. If everybody could get one, we'd give everybody a participation award.
You can't. So, and that was the first list on the winner selection. We using the Vanity Fair ballot.
Right.
Yeah. So, alternative facts, I watched all of these movies. But to keep it 100, I only watched one, and that was my vote for the best winner. I mean, it just was everything to me. But so what happened at the end when they announced La La Land? It was Warren Beatty, and and what do you think about that story? Because he's saying that, listen, I had a card that said Emma Stone, La La Land. He said, so I looked to Faye Dunaway, like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And that he paused and he like, okay, maybe they just made a mistake with her name on top, but this is the movie.
Right.
So he announced it. Then Emma Stone tried to say, well, that's
But he didn't really announce it. If you watch it, he gave it to her, and she's the one that said La La Land, and they even have audio of him whispering, but it says Emma Stone.
Oh, so okay, because
she's actually the one who said it. He was confused. And the story they're going with now is...
I'm about to say, well, hold on, because Emma Stone tried to say, oh, they have to be lying because I had my card with me.
But what they're saying is there's always 2 representatives from the accounting firm. Mm-hmm. And they're posted on both sides of the stage. They don't know who's going to be announcing the winner.
Uh-huh.
So there's one on each side of the stage, and then the 2 people who are presenting come out from the different sides. So whoever they're told to give the envelope to, there's always an extra envelope on the other side.
Oh, okay.
So there's 2 envelopes for every category that gets aired. So there were 2 best actress envelopes, one on each side.
Okay, so that
Warren
makes sense.
Beatty was handed the best actress envelope when he should have been handed the best picture envelope.
Okay, that makes sense.
Faye Dunaway wasn't announcing it, so they didn't give her an envelope on her side of the stage. That's how they're saying the mix-up happened.
Well, that makes sense.
And the guy who was supposed to give Warren Beatty his envelope was tweeting a picture of Emma Stone.
I know, and then they made him do. I'm like,
I heard he got fired.
God, well, I'm sure he did because they're looking to blame. Because then, and I mean, which I don't believe this to be the case because Moonlight is a black movie. It's all black actors, actresses, a black movie. They're trying to, people yelling, it's racism, it's a black movie. And I didn't take it that way. And I guess to like kind of shield themselves from any potential of that happening, they're like, listen, you gotta go, brother.
Right.
So that way we don't even have to worry. But I didn't take it that way.
I saw it as an honest mistake. But what I did not like was that Moonlight, when they got on stage, should have then been given the same amount of time to give their speech. They shouldn't have been cut off early because Moonlight had already gave speeches. They were on the third person talking when they announced the mistake. So Moonlight was cut off before giving their... Barry Jenkins didn't get to give his acceptance speech. There was no... it was so haphazard to not make it their moment. It was still kind of La La Land conceding the moment to Moonlight, not Moonlight's moment. You know what I mean?
I guess that, hindsight being 2020 is that maybe they should have said, all right, let's stop.
Pause, right.
Let's get them, everybody situated. Regroup. Let's do everything and then give them a chance to announce their award. That's 2020.
Right.
At that moment, and shout out to the guy who was like, no, who snatched the card, snatched the award. Was like, no, it's Moonlight. It's Moonlight.
Yeah. But then even on Twitter, there was a lot of stories saying how, he was such a stand-up guy for what he did. And I'm like, no, that was what you were supposed to do. You weren't the winner.
Yeah, what was he going to do? Take the award?
Exactly. What was he going to do? Run off like he was the super villain? Like, you'll never catch me alive. No, he was supposed to give it.
And I think that but I guess to me, I saw him as, I was like, kudos to him because the way he did it. And I guess it was his emotions too. Like, I'm up here thinking, yes, this is the moment. And people who don't watch the Oscars don't understand Best Picture.
Exactly.
That's everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, this is my moment. And then to find out, and he's like, give me that shit. Right. Like, you done fucked up my moment.
Exactly.
But to try to give them their moment.
Right.
And I guess it was just
And I do agree if we on the outside probably see it differently because these guys go on tours pushing their movies and a lot of times they're at the same places. So when he said, these are our friends, I do believe that. They have been on this same Oscar trip together.
Pushing
their movie, pushing their actresses, pushing their everything. Now, would this have been as much of a snafu if it had been Best Foreign Short Film?
Hell no.
No, but don't nobody give a damn.
I'm about to say they could just cut that shit right on out.
Exactly. If it had been Best Sound Editing and they gave it to the wrong one, nobody would have batted an eye. It was the fact it was the last award of the night. You can win Best Picture and not win Best Director. You can win Best Picture and not win Best Actor. So the fact of it was Best Picture above all, that encompasses everyone involved as being the best. That's what made this way more of a controversy.
Well, I think, and I have an issue with Best Director, Best Picture type of deal, because to me, and I'm not in the film business, so I could be wrong, but that would go hand in hand, because what I'm picturing is Spike Lee type deal, where he's involved with everything. You need to look like this, you need to do this. So how, once this movie comes together, could you not say the person who did it, how did
I also agree with the fact of they expanded Best Picture category, so it can be up to 10 pictures. Best Director, Best Act, they're all still 5.
Did we have 10 this year? 1, 2.
No, it was only 9.
And I was about to say, so, because I was in school when that happened, when the whole switch came about, and it was because they're saying people aren't watching the Oscars, and we want to get the younger generation into the Oscars. How can we do this? So they expanded the category and then started to include all these different varieties of movies. They one year we had Up, an animated film, nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture,
and
which
Toy
was
Story.
Crazy. Yes,
Toy Story 3 was nominated
for Best Picture. So, and the reason why they did it was to try to bring in more viewers. So I think last year they didn't have that many nominees, and
it wasn't as many as 10 either.
And I like that. Like, listen, we're not going to kiss your ass or anything or bullshit you. If you're not at the top of your game, you're not getting nominated. We don't care if we don't have 10. So that's. But
I do think they don't need to include animated films because they have their own category. They had Zootopia was good, yes. But should you have to consider Zootopia amongst other movies? It should go against other animated movies, as which of these was the best animated?
Oh, no. See, I disagree. I think that if an animated movie goes to that level, like, for example, on our day, Lion King. I could honestly see the Lion King being a Best Picture nominee. Being a winner is a different story. Because I think that it went above an animated movie. It was a good freaking movie. Animated movie, I guess what I'm thinking more is like Finding Nemo was a good movie, but is it Best Picture quality? No. But it's a good kid movie. So I'm thinking like it's just that extra step where you can encompass everybody from 3 to 80. And it's a really good I don't know. I don't have a problem with the animated.
I guess so. And I mean, like you said, if it goes past just being a good animated film movie, to a good film, yes, I can agree with that there. But there aren't many of them like that now.
Absolutely
I could have seen Zootopia having been not. To me, Zootopia was so good. I love that movie. On that. I loved it. And I'm like, I mean, Zootopia is woke as fuck. Okay? If you have not seen it, I recommend it. I know you may think I don't watch kid movies, but it's one of those movies where you're like, they woke AF, because
I gotta watch it. I never watched it.
So many things, like when it's one of those things where everybody can see something in it and take away from it. Either you're the good guy, the bad guy, you're the indifferent guy. And the fact that they did it with animals and it wasn't like, like Moana, Hawaiians or Polynesians. It wasn't just me identifying with it. Maybe I'm a goat sometimes, but then other times maybe I'm the lion.
Wait, and I think that one won, right?
Zootopia won for animated, yeah.
Right? Okay.
It's really good, and I think even I don't know if you saw last year Inside Out. Like I could have seen that winning. That was another one
with
that
the germs or something.
No, that was the one with like the feelings, like you had joy.
Oh yes. That's
another one that I love. I'm like, oh my god, these animated films been bringing it recently. So.
Oh my god, I gotta check it out. So when you were bringing that up, what is the name of this movie that The Rock did with the Hawaiian thing? Okay, the girl who did this performance. Was that performance not everything on the Oscars?
It was really good till she got hit in the head with the flag and I had to laugh. I enjoyed it.
I think it was just from a visual standpoint. It just had.
And I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. He can do no wrong.
Was that the? No,
that's the guy from Hamilton. He wrote Hamilton.
But who's the girl that was singing it?
That was. I don't know her name. Oh gosh.
I don't know her name.
I don't know her name.
Alternative facts.
I know she's only like
Lilo.
14.
Look.
Who is Stitch? She's Lilo. Oh my goodness.
I don't know her damn
I know
name.
she's only like 14 or 15, and this was like her first feature film that she's done. And she sung it for the movie. She sung it on the soundtracks and everything. So, but
and she was nominated on that too,
did the
right?
soundtrack, yeah.
How Far I'll Go. So I really enjoyed her performance.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess we're not going to go through all of these categories because some of the shit y'all don't care about. I know our engineer Craig G might care about sound mixing and sound editing, but we don't give a damn about those categories. What we care about, we're going to discuss the categories we care about. And since we're talking about the song, we'll go to original song, which our boy John Legend won for, yes. La La and this is his second Oscar win.
Yes.
Because he got the one for, what was that movie?
Glory? That was a song.
That was a song, and the movie was about Martin Luther King March in
Selma.
Ooh, yes.
Almost lost my black card.
Him and Common won, so then he won this one, and I mean that performance was also good, but it was, I guess it wasn't as great as the girl because I've seen John Legend at a piano.
Him at a piano every time. Yes,
I've seen him sitting down. I've seen fucking people dance. Show me something I haven't seen before. But
John Legend just seems so like paint dry to me. He is just so.
And then his wife is just so crazy. And you're like,
I swear, she makes him interesting because I'm like, I only care about you because I want to see what Chrissy's gonna do.
Oh, I just
can't with him sometimes. But I love him because I'm like, he makes me think there's a whole nother side to him that we don't see. That because you have to be a little crazy to deal with her. Crazy.
I know, and you saw her when they were on Lip Sync Battle, and she was like, "Well, I guess I gotta choose him. He pays my bills." I just the way she acts compared to the way he seems, it just seemed a mismatch. But that was for the original song category. The best picture we discussed. You've seen more of the movies than I did.
Yeah.
Was Moonlight your pick?
Moonlight was my pick from Jump. I saw. Of the ones that I saw, I probably saw Fences and Hidden Figures first, and then I saw the whole Best Picture category. The only one I didn't see was Hacksaw Ridge. Which, just to give you a quick synopsis. So Moonlight is, the way it's described, is a portrait of contemporary African American life. It's set in Florida, but it's an intensely personal, poetic meditation on identity, family, friendship, and love. So I think that encompasses everything you tried to touch on. That's why I think
that's the thing. Even based on that description, and I'm glad you read it, that shit seemed boring. Then when it say African American life, you picturing the hood and this and that, and then when you watch the commercials for it, you see the do-rags, you see the hood, so you're thinking it's that. But that movie was so much. The movie is so much more than that. Why didn't they go, and when they advertised it and when they describe it, why don't they go into more of that? We have not really seen Black gay men in this manner.
Right.
I mean, this boy is coming of age.
Even my mother asked me, she said, I know he was supposed to be gay. Like, I knew that part of it. She said, but other than that night on the beach, where did he ever act gay? And she said that's what she liked, that it was not, he was, this little boy that everybody saw this in.
Did.
But she said to his mother.
Because his mother says, why do you think they're always beating him up?
But when you see him in 3 parts, the first part, he's young. He's out there on the field with the boys. He's running. He's playing. There's no overt action that he does and that I remember seeing that says, oh, he's going to grow up to be gay. Well, to me, the gay was like the afterthought. Like all these other things. Him growing up in the ghetto, having a mother who becomes addicted to, like that was the story.
No, see, I disagree with you on that.
I
disagree with you on that.
And
the story was, in my opinion, I heard that story before. Growing up in the ghetto, your mom on crack. I heard those stories. I saw those stories. This I have never seen in this way, and I thought that because. And again, when he was the first part, when he's a little boy, he's always, the first scene is him actually running from a group of boys chasing him to beat him up. Right. And then his friend, when they're on the football field, soccer field, whatever, act like you're in the UK. Shit, use them interchangeably. The boys want to fight him, and his friend grabs him up and listen, you got to stop acting soft. Show everybody you hard. And he like, I'm not soft. And he like, I know it, but you got to show people. So they get to wrestling.
But isn't that... I've never been a boy in Miami, but growing up as a
you weren't a boy before. Okay.
It's hard to believe, I know. But growing up as a kid who was picked on, just being picked on is a part of life. And it just is one thing that someone can zero in on. And I know boys who were picked on and called gay that weren't gay. So to me, that was not decided. He was struggling with his identity, yes. And when other people were making these suggestions, and like he said to Mahershala Ali's character, well, how do I know if I'm gay? He was not he didn't identify.
No, I didn't say, I don't think it's about him identifying, but it was his struggle with that was from the beginning, and the kids picking on him because of it. And I really didn't put it together until later on. I thought they were just picking on him because he was so small. Mm-hmm. And then his mother, after he meets Mahershala, yeah, that he goes to the house or whatever, and the mother's like, Don't you see the way he walks? Why do you think everybody's picking on him? Right. And so then it becomes clear that he's feminine or something because they're picking on him, and then he goes to Mahershala.
But then don't you think at that age too, that's suggested to him? Like, if somebody constantly is calling you gay, and someone who you look up to, your mom, your friends, whatever, then it becomes to your thought, well, maybe I am. To me, he wasn't sexually identified. Well, it wasn't that he wasn't trying to kiss. They weren't chasing him because he tried to kiss one of them, and they were like, "Oh, he's going to be gay."
No. Because it wasn't that he was. It's just that
even when he was dancing in the dance studio,
hold on, girlfriend. We're gonna have to reel this in a little bit because I gotta be able to get some shit.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Basically, what I'm saying is that I understand what you're saying. Like, oh, we didn't see him kissing boys. People are born gay. So apparently, and the way that he must have had some type of feelings to even ask, what's her name? What does it mean to be gay? How will I know if I'm gay? Then also the fact that they were picking on him, I took it as that he had to be active feminine because they don't just call him that. And his own mother is saying, don't you see the way the boy walks?
Right.
It had to be something. And then when he goes
even in that, I didn't see. I didn't see him
really
throwing a cape as he was walking and saying sashaying through the halls or nothing.
Well, no, it wasn't.
Even with her saying that, I was like, well, maybe it was something she saw when they not included in the film, because I just did not see where he was overt in his action. To me, it was everyone else perceived him that way. He was not identified. He didn't even know what it was. That's why he asked Mahershala Ali, what does it mean? People are calling me this and I don't know what it is. I don't think
that was what he was saying. He was saying, because he said, what is a faggot? He didn't know what that meant.
Right.
And because I told you off the air and I told you on the air last week, that was my favorite scene of the movie. Right. It's them at that table. And he says, what is a faggot? Mm-hmm. And I just thought, because we see we see Blue with the damn do-rag
call him Remy this time.
I know, right? Or a cottonmouth. And he got the grill on the bottom. So I thought he was going to say something totally different.
Ignorant.
And yes, and he says, it's just a word that people use to make gay people feel bad. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, I was like, oh, wow, this is not what I expected. Yeah. And then he said, how would I know if I'm gay? Mm-hmm. And I didn't take that as him not knowing what gay is. He knows what gay is. He's just saying, how would I know if that's really who I am? Mm-hmm. Or, dealing with the feelings or whatever. How will I know? Right. And then they have the conversation you will know. And to me, he was coming across and it wouldn't make a difference if you are. Right. If that's who you are, that's who you are. Right. I didn't take it as he didn't know what gay meant. What is gay? I'm blue. I don't know. No, I didn't take it as that.
I just feel I don't know. It was a beautiful film.
It was. I think that that scene
and
when he was young.
Back to your original question though, why didn't they put that in the byline or whatever? Uh-huh. Because I think some people may have been pushed off to it for that.
Then fuck them.
Yeah, but you still want their money at the movie. So I think if you come to it and you walk out because maybe that's a storyline you don't want to see, you don't want to, that's fine. We still got your $7. But I don't think that should have been the go-to, because even though that was his life, I don't think that was all he was. And I thought that was another point they were trying to make. This was one aspect of his African American life.
But then you think that because that made his story that much more interesting, because now he's a black man, and even though maybe down in Atlanta somewhere where it's more acceptable, that still being gay in the black community amongst male is not as accepted.
Definitely.
He was growing up in the hood. His mother was on crack, so he had to take care of himself to extent. And his mentor is this big drug dealer.
Right.
So I thought it was like all of these pieces of him is what was.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I just don't think they had to.
If they would have put gay in there, I would have been at the movies, damn it. Instead of sitting on my fucking couch the morning of Oscars watching this shit. They should have said, I just thought it, oh man, this movie, it was really a lot to me. Then we see him grow to teenager.
And you see these beautiful dark-skinned men shining in the moonlight. And it's just so much visualization associated with just the title. And I mean, him being touched by Mahershala Ali as far as intimately father to son, mentor.
I'm about to say, girl, you know you got to watch that word touch.
I'm just saying, like, teaching them to swim. They're in the water.
But don't use the word touch. Because you know what that...
touch him, but
no, he didn't touch
not sexually.
Yes, I was about to say.
It was in a mentor, teaching them how to swim. But now, if, on the flip side, as to your point, if his mother had walked up on that scene, you think she wouldn't have tried to blast Mahershala Ali for saying you touching him? Like, it was, I don't think she was down for him having a male mentor in his life, especially not his character was portrayed.
I think that her thing was mostly that, a control thing. Mm-hmm. And then, like we discussed before, that in the beginning, it seems like she's a functioning addict. Right. And
in the beginning,
yeah. And then remember, Janelle Monáe plays
Blue's
character, plays his girlfriend. And so then that's a mother figure that, and a lot of these people with the drug problems, that they got to hold on to these kids. And now she's like, are y'all going to try to take him away from me? But that scene at the ocean, nothing came across weird. It was like a father. I love the scene. A father teaching his son how to swim. And then he says, sometimes you just got to go and let go. Yeah. Just let go. I mean, it was beautiful. Right. It was just everything to me.
And then it also, like, even though, like you said, Mahershala was this big time drug dealer, it also showed that no matter how you're, like, usually in movies we only see that side. You're a drug dealer. That's all we see. You're violent, how you affect your community. But then he has this whole other side of how he affects his community, as far as he sees a kid struggling and takes him under his wing and tries to, when he needs a place to sleep at night, they got a bed. When he needs food, they fill his stomach. Like, but then you know, other people would say, but what he's doing to his community through selling drugs, and different. He has these different aspects.
But did you see? So when he catches, at one point in the movie, the mom comes to buy drugs from his block, but he's not there when she buys it. But then he sees somebody smoking crack on the block, and he's like, "How could y'all allow this?" So he goes to confront them and finds out that it's the mother, and the effect that it had on him is like, "Shit, what am I doing?" Yeah, you know, I'm mad at her, and she says it to him, "You're the one who sold me this shit," and this and that, and it's like, I mean, you see that struggle with his character. Now, was his role and his character and his portrayal of such Oscar worthy this time?
Compared to the other people nominated, he would be my pick.
He would have been your pick?
The only one, I'm going to tell you, the only one that would have probably beat him out and I wouldn't have had a problem with it was Dev Patel and Lion. I told you that was my other pick. I said if Moonlight didn't win, Lion would be my pick, because this story is about, I was very confused watching it at first, because maybe like the first 30 or 40 minutes is in Indian. And there's no, maybe the copy I was watching was messed up. There's no subtitles. So I'm up there like, but the story was so evident of what was happening. You didn't have to know word for word what they were saying. Okay.
So I don't want to get into Lion yet, because I'm not finished with Moonlight. Because one thing that I had also was that the young kid in the first scene, because like you say, he starts off as a kid, then he goes to become a teenager. In my opinion, his performance was like Oscar worthy. He should have got a nod. Okay. Because for most of the movie and the part that he's in, he doesn't speak. Right. Yeah, everything, you get everything that's going on with him.
Right.
He shows it, he acts it, but I think maybe he says, if it's 10 sentences, the whole thing, if it's that, and that's an exaggeration. I really thought he should have got the nod. And I know people saying he's young, it's his first time out, you can't do that when you got the vets. What did you think about? Because I guess he would have been up against
it would have been
Denzel and them, because would he been supporting?
I don't think he would have been lead because he was. Well, I don't know. He. I wouldn't have considered him the lead because
who would be the lead?
I don't know that they had one, and because to me, each each changed every.
So they would all be lead.
I guess, or supporting. I would think they would all be supporting
because
they also. I guess it depends on your definition, because they all supported the cast, or like each. If you didn't have such a good performance in the first one, with the second one having you know what I mean? Like they all had to have a continuity of character, because I had to understand how the first one did it to see the same character in the second one and see that this was still the same person he's acting as. You know what I'm saying?
So he wouldn't be able, because
even in the second one he didn't talk much.
Exactly.
We didn't really get a lot of talking to that last guy.
I just thought that the first kid just did a better job. But so then I would guess that, and maybe we need to read what's the criteria for lead. Right. I would think that he would be lead in his section of the movie, then the other kid would be lead. Because Mahershala.
Just say Ali.
Whatever. He was considered supporting.
Right.
And he's only in that one section of the movie. Yeah. So I don't know, but I would have.
He would have been your pick.
He didn't even get nominated, so he would have been my pick to even get a fucking nomination. Yeah. Like, it would have put him. He wouldn't have won, of course. But
if that's the case, then maybe for your supporting, it would have been his friend, the young kid who played his friend. No,
I didn't think he did that great of a job that he needed a nod.
I liked him. Really? I liked his character.
That he would get a nod?
No,
right? See, that's what I mean. But this
I'm saying by your definition of lead, maybe he would have been. Would he have been a supporting and not Mahershala?
Well, Mahershala was supporting in his section of the movie,
right?
And he is a supporting actor in that section.
Okay.
So but no, I didn't think that guy deserved. The other kid didn't deserve a nod. Yeah. No.
All of the guys who
even
played
the guy the last
Chiron were so expressive, and like you were able to, like their emotion was palpable, like. Just them looking in the camera with that tight face, and you knew that they were in angst. You knew that they were in, despair.
I don't know. They were all
very expressive.
The last guy, he really didn't do it for me until the end of the movie. But that kid, you got to watch out for this kid.
He was haunting.
Yeah, he did a really good job. So then that one, I guess, and then the mom was nominated for. Supporting.
Naomi Harris.
And did Janelle Monáe get nominated? No,
not for that.
Womp womp.
Oh,
poor
okay.
Janelle.
We still love her.
But she was in 2 movies.
Her
nominated
and
for Oscar.
In the same movie.
Yeah, so you better work, Mama. But go ahead,
I'm pulling for her.
I know
she's proven to be a tour de force, as they say. She's the acting, the singing, just all of it.
Yeah, I thought I was going to. Honestly, when I watched her in the movie, I didn't even remember that was Janelle Monáe.
Right.
It was just like...
I think she had... I mean, of course, she had more lines. She really showed her acting chops in Hidden Figures and, taking on a character. Because the character she played in Moonlight could have just as easily been, her with a do-rag and an accent. Like, that was probably more her than Mary Johnson, who she played in Hidden Figures, but... I think that showed more of a depth to her acting.
Oh my God! So then I can't stand you. Put on a do-rag, but for the actor in the leading role, there was some controversy about that because Casey Affleck, which I believe is Ben Affleck's brother, because he was in another movie with them, beat out Denzel Washington for Fences. What is your take on that?
I mean, Denzel would have been my pick, definitely. I mean, Casey Affleck. To me, I guess you would have to have seen the movie to see where he, really stretched his acting chops. But to me, throughout it, other than those 10 minutes, he was Casey Affleck. Like, he was just reading lines out. He just memorized lines out of a script and read them as Casey Affleck. There was no, wow, he's really outside of himself. No, it was him.
Well, his brother ain't much better. Shit.
Definitely, but his brother ain't trying to be Oscar nominated. He just want to be Batman.
Batman now, right?
He's not trying to be Oscar nominated. They ain't nominating you for Batman unless you Michael Keaton. So get out of here. So
yeah, I was just.
I don't know. I mean, Manchester by the Sea was definitely second most overhyped for me. But it was. I mean, very short scenario. So Lee Chandler, who is Casey Affleck, he's brooding, irritable, and a loner. He works as a Boston handyman.
Oh, fuck that. Wait, fuck them in this Boston shit. I'm tired. I got it. I fucking got it already. Can we go? Connecticut. Anywhere. No. Okay.
First of all, it was just the only black person you saw he encountered in Boston. By the time he got back to Manchester, we were nowhere to be found. Just so you know.
Oh my God, it's like 20 years of fucking Boston and those fake accents. I'm done with that shit. But go ahead.
So Lee's brother dies, and Lee becomes the guardian of his 16-year-old nephew. He goes back home to get his brother's affairs in order, and he had left home because of an unspeakable tragedy that happened. Mm-hmm. So you go through maybe, I want to say 45 minutes to 50 minutes of the movie before you know why he has such an issue with being his nephew's guardian. And hashtag spoilers, he caused the death of his children in a house fire. And he never dealt with it.
So that's why he has an issue.
Him and his wife divorced. He moved out of town. He moved into a 1-bedroom apartment, became a handyman, never dated, never made relationships. Mm-hmm. He just became a hermit and didn't go back to town ever to see his family. The brother dies, and the 16-year-old nephew's kind of funny and a badass. He was nominated for supporting Lucas Hedges. And his character, I could see getting nominated because you look at him and he's like this little bony 16-year-old. He got 2 girlfriends. He's trying to he's trying to bone one of them. One of them he's boning on a regular.
Oh, my God.
She sleeps over. And he's like, well, Dad used to let her sleep over, but if her mom calls, she slept on the couch. And the uncle's like, yeah, whatever, do you.
Yeah, whatever. At this point.
He's like, do you need condoms or something? I'm like, okay, wait a minute. But, and then Michelle Williams, who...
She was nominated.
Okay.
Supporting. I believe so.
Nominated for supporting actress.
I'm about to say she was nominated.
She was Casey Affleck's wife.
But was she deserving of a nomination?
I did enjoy her character. And
what she did
of all the movies though, there wasn't like her role like seemed, what's the word I'm looking for? It set out apart from the rest. Let's put it like that.
So was she deserved? But you're not answering the question.
Well, because of the 9 movies, would she be one of the supporting actresses? I would have picked yes.
No, because that's not how that works.
That's not how any of this works?
No. You can't post them on a wall and say it's online. No. Just because the movie, so a person, for example, we have a perfect example with in the leading role, well, 2, but Meryl Streep, you can't even consider that shit anymore. But Natalie Portman being nominated for Jackie. Jackie isn't nominated at all. So you can do an outstanding job in your movie and be worthy of that nomination without that movie being nominated. So to say, well, out of the movies nominated, should she? No, out of her playing that role in that movie, was she Oscar nom worthy? Because I got a theory about her. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear the theory first.
No, first say whether you think she was or not. Because you're going to disprove my...
She wouldn't have been my pick, but yes, I do think her role in that movie was best supporting, not lead, that's the difference between her and the Natalie Portman thing. Natalie Portman carried that film. It was about Jackie. She played Jackie. So yeah. And she encompassed the role because she looked so much like her. They even posted a story about Jackie and used Natalie Portman as by accident. So,
well, my theory about Michelle Williams, and I believe because what was her baby father husband was the Joker. What was his name?
Oh, Heath Ledger.
Yes.
Don't tell me you think she gets a sympathy vote.
Oh, absolutely.
Stop it.
All the fucking time.
No.
I think she does. I think she does. They like, oh my God, this poor single mom in Hollywood only making millions of dollars for movies. Give her a nom. Give it to her. I don't know. I haven't seen one thing where she does it for me, and I'm like, okay, I can see why she stayed booked.
Okay.
I don't ever. I'm like, why is this chick booked all the time? Like, you might as well start a knitting club. You're not great at that, but she stays booked. That's my theory. That's my theory.
I mean, I could see some credence to your theory. Maybe if this was right after, but I do think you have to.
Well, she's been nominated ever since fucking then. Okay. See, look,
I could see
that thinking meme.
I'm not gonna shit on your theory. So, but I mean, in that role, yes, I liked her in that role, and to me, she was more moving than freaking Casey Affleck. She played the wife, and so they both lost their children in the house fire. She was saved, and before they were able to get the kids out, the furnace blew, and the house was a hot mess. There was 3 kids in there.
But Casey, I mean, with that, as far as
and the only part he really like stretched his acting chops was when they were questioning him by the police. You know, were you drunk? Any drugs? Da 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 da. What happened? And after the cops cleared him, they were like, well, you know, not doing something is not a crime. And he tried to kill himself in the police station.
I don't know. I think if his last name wasn't Affleck, would we be here?
Well, and you know that they got the fact that he got all of these. Well, a whole nother note. He got all these sexual harassment charges against him.
I was about to say, well, the thing, you know, that they gotta go campaigning for the Oscars and things like this. And I think like Denzel, the OG, like, yeah, fuck y'all. I'm not doing that shit anymore. Right. Either y'all vote for me or you don't.
I do think Denzel thought he was gonna win though. Like they showed him, it looked like he had that glory tea in the corner. Just waiting to drop. And I do think he thought he was going to win. And after watching Fences, them black folks acted their ass off. Like they all deserve.
And that's what I say. But I think that Denzel, being who he is, and at that level, is like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit anymore. Yeah. Either y'all pick me or you don't. And these other people are still doing it.
And I really wonder if maybe he was salty because they didn't give him Best Director, too. Because he could. I think he probably deserved the Best Director, not more so than freaking Mel Gibson.
Oh. You know that fucking Scientology shit be working. But our girl from How to Get Away with Murder, who we were tired of this year.
Oh, Viola. That's not Bubble. I told you that's not Bubble was going to do it from day one.
Oh my God. And that speech. And then she's been going on afterwards like, listen, y'all don't understand how poor I was when I grew up. And to come to this moment. She looked gorgeous.
Oh my God.
I mean, the wig was laid. The dress was laid. It was
that red dress on that chocolate skin was giving
everything was perfect about that
all moment. My life. I was just like, girl, you are slaying every dragon.
And can we also say that it was three black women nominated in that category this year. Yeah. So basically, I mean, we were going to take one home this year. Like
the odds were in our favor.
I don't know what you talk about. We getting one. Yeah. But that one, I thought her speech, and I guess it was everything. It's just like the sun from the gods came shining on her because the whole look, everything.
I was ready for her to start a Rev Run morning text club because I was gonna sign up right there.
Oh my God!
I need you to send me an inspirational quote every day.
Yeah. I was like, shit. Let me step up my game.
Exactly.
So then the other thing I want to, I know we don't like makeup and the hairstyling isn't really a big category. However, when I saw the nominations and I was watching the show, Suicide Squad really stuck out to me because I thought that everybody shitted on Suicide Squad except for the fans. Except for the people who spent all the money to go see it. Everybody gave it bad reviews. Everybody, and I loved the movie. I thought it was really good.
I didn't hate it. I'm sorry. I liked oh God, her name goes right out my head. But the one who played the crazy girl. Give me her name again. Margot Robbie. Yes, thank you. Margot Robbie. Yes, I liked her as Harley Quinn.
Oh, absolutely. She was crazy as fuck, and I was here for it.
Now, I liked Will Smith's character.
I didn't like the Joker guy. That's the only... He wasn't...
Now, see, I I wanted more of him.
You know what the thing is? After Heath Ledger, I just can't. I can't really? Even. I mean, we all know that on The Dark Knight, he killed this performance.
I agree.
He killed the performance.
I don't know if they killed Heath Ledger in the same sentence.
He wasn't killed. He killed. He OD'd. So I guess we can say it. Fuck. I mean, he did the like. It wasn't like. But oh my God!
I like that. But I understand. I understand what you're saying with that. Yes, for a Batman movie, he set the bar. It can't be touched.
So you gave this guy, who was it?
This was.
He's a big actor.
He is, and Jared Leto, because I was trying to remember, he won for Dallas Buyers Club.
Yes, which was a good movie.
Yes.
But,
so to me, if he had tried to embody it the same way, but to me, he put a different spin on it. Like it was not downtrodden Joker. This was, I'm rich as fuck Joker, riding up with my purple Lambo and my green hair.
I don't know.
And I'm going to make Margot Robbie, I'm going to turn her from this good girl into this bad girl that she really want to be. And
I just wasn't.
I just like the way I needed more of him with his iced out grill and his gun. And I
wasn't here for it. But, I mean, as far as the makeup goes, for fucking Halloween, we saw this. Everybody did it. So it was like, if they don't fucking get him the award, I mean, how? How, Sway? How? Yeah. Like, but, yeah, because I was just happy that Suicide Squad was mentioned on the Oscars. So that's why I took notice of that one. Then I guess the other one I wanted to get to was the documentary. Because this was going to be one of my TV recommendations.
The feature length.
Was it a feature?
Because there's short subject and feature length.
Okay. For the feature length.
That shit is 7 hours, yo.
Oh, I watched all 7 of that shit.
You did?
Absolutely. You must. It was going to be one of my recommendations for Life of a TV Actor. Well, make it your
recommendation here right now.
So, for the Oscar edition of Life of a TV
What
Actor.
You should see, Oscar edition.
OJ Made in America. You must watch this documentary. When it came on TV, they broke it up. So every day it was, I think they did like 2 hours, whatever.
Right.
I was there for all of it because us being of the same age and our engineer even being younger, we don't remember OJ as the football player or the star or any of this. We only remember OJ as the fucking killer.
Right.
So to see the whole story and then to see what happened that drove the jury to actually acquit him of the murder charges, the things that were going on. I mean, this is a fantastic documentary. I was going to talk about it on the TV because they rerunning it now because it won.
Also, if you have Hulu, they just put up all 7 hours.
I saw it up there. Yeah, and it's on regular TV now.
And it's broken up into segments. Yes. So you don't have to watch all 7 and pause.
Girl, I could have stayed home all day and watched that shit because I mean, it's an excellent, and it won. So I'm like, yeah, that one. It talks about the racism in the LA, and they had this one story where an Asian woman killed a 14-year-old black girl in a store while she was buying orange juice. Literally, when the girl turned around, shot her in the back of the head. And they gave the lady probation. And I mean, this is what, and they're saying, basically the documentary shows, like, this is how we got to OJ being acquitted.
Right.
So, and they interviewed the jurors, which is fantastic. You got to see this, because one lady was like, and then his dumb ass gonna go get caught. Old black lady had me cracking up. But they basically said, listen, we didn't care about any of that stuff. We were pissed what happened with Rodney King. We were pissed what happened with this. We were pissed, and they saying that's why we acquitted him. So we didn't even care. And then basically, we all know OJ did it, but then they show you.
Hashtag these are the opinions.
Shitting me. You find me one person who think OJ didn't kill them people. And had good reason to.
Well, wait a minute. Oh, wait.
Shitting me. But, oh my God. And one other thing, and then we're going to get off of that. Is that in a documentary they talk about when Nicole first met OJ, and so they went on a date. She was younger, but he was OJ in his prime at this time. Right. And so she goes home, and her family tells the story that she said he hit her and then basically raped her or whatever, like pulled down her pants and this and that. But then you went on a second date,
right?
So I was like, come on, like, let's stop this bullshit here. Mm-hmm. She knew what was up, and it was always that he was hitting her or doing something, and you stayed. So, yeah, I mean, come on.
I was going to give this a try just because of the director. You know who his mom is?
No.
He's Ezra Edelman, and his mom is Marion Wright Edelman, civil rights activist.
Oh,
that's his mom. So I was here for it just for, pro-black. I was just like, I'm gonna watch him because he won, and he black, and she black. And then I'm gonna tell you why I'm on OJ overload.
The People versus OJ.
I watched The People versus OJ, and yes, I want to watch this, but all these OJ, this is the side of his story coming out. OJ ain't got one day off his sentence. Ain't nobody trying to retry, open up things, saying maybe we should reconsider this. 20 fucking years he been serving for stealing back some shit that was his.
Which, like, hold on, wait. Watch this documentary.
From? What is he benefiting? Everybody making money off this. He gonna come out of jail, and where's he gonna be? This is my question.
Watch this documentary, because then they even go into that part. Okay. I mean, I watched The People versus OJ. This is not that. Right. And that's why I didn't want to watch it at first. Because I'm like, we already fucking got it with Cuba. We got it. We got it.
You get the no.
Oh my God. This guy literally sets him up. And the guy sold the tape to TMZ, and I think he got $500,000 for it. But basically, he told OJ, listen, I know who got your stuff. We can go back and get it. Get some team together. But then put on a recorder so he could record everything that happened in the room. Sold it. And then they all sold OJ out.
And my thing is, does he get any?
Great.
Is he getting anything in his commissary? Is he able to not eat ramen? Like, everybody is making money off this, and I just wonder, he's still going to be blackballed when he come out, because everybody, like you said, still sees him as a murderer. Though he was cleared.
How long does he have? He got like 45.
They say he might be upcoming this summer. They might consider him.
They ain't letting him out.
They're not letting him out. They gonna make sure his ass get jumped to have to shank a motherfucker in there. So he got to get some more time at it. But I just wonder, like, everybody's okay with greenlighting these projects on OJ, this other person. But where is this going to benefit him when he comes out, everybody still says he's a murderer?
Well, he can't. You know what the thing is, and they show that in and how he was able to get around it. They show it in the documentary and how he was able to get around it somewhat. But when they had those lawsuits against him, any money that he's making that's payable to him as O.J. Simpson or whatever, so yeah, he could exploit the right, like, y'all using my publicity to get these movies right. But even if he was going to get paid, they didn't take the money. So it's like...
that's my only thing. I mean, I'm going to support just because it's a story that needs to be told, I think, because there's a whole other side.
I would definitely
how he got to it.
How we got to here. And I didn't even know, because, again, this is happening... they go back to like the 80s with Rodney. I think the opening scene is Rodney King being beat. We all know about the Rodney King story. Mm-hmm. So we were young during that time or whatever. And then it goes all the way up till they do his trial, after the trial, and then to him being now convicted and serving the 45 years or whatever they gave him for the robbery. Right. This is an excellent. Okay. My little sister, I had her watching it every day because I think I had just had the baby or whatever. Okay. But I definitely recommend it. Okay. But other than that, was there anything else in the Oscars?
Well, no, I was just about to ask you the same thing, because if not, I have a question I want to close with.
Okay.
What you want?
Anything else about the Oscars? I think we touched on it. Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay. So based on this is 2017 to me is #Oscar so black. After last year was Oscar so white.
I know.
We had 3 Best Picture nominees with black cast. Mm-hmm. Just as you just pointed out, documentaries. We had I Am Not Your Negro. Mm-hmm. We had OJ. We had a black person in a supporting role. It could have been 60. We had 60% chance of it being a winner.
Hold on. Let's not forget the 13th.
And the 13th by Ava DuVernay.
Yes.
So, did the Oscars try to,
black it up?
Yeah, like, next year, are we going to get Oscars so beige because maybe they're going to mix it up a little bit more? I'm just saying, like, did they overkill this year?
No, this one, honestly, And that's why last year when they had the whole thing about Oscar so white, I didn't agree. And I told people, I said, you know what did you want them to nominate? Fucking Madea Halloween special?
Right.
There was nothing out. We were not producing. That's why we were not there. Mm-hmm. We need to produce, and we need to produce at that quality. Because I don't want to fucking see Tyler Perry nominated for shit at the Oscar. I don't even want to see that fucker there. I mean, they need to check him at the door. You get the fuck out of here. So I'm like, y'all gotta be careful what you ask for. However, this year we came with the goods. Right. We got Hidden Figures. We had Fences. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's the playwright by August Wilson. Yes. Mm-hmm. We had these people, Moonlight, which was totally out of the box. Right. We had the acting was on point. We got Viola. We got Denzel back in the game. We got, I mean, we came with it this year. So we deserved it. I don't think it was, I can't look at these and say, oh, they just gave this to us to shut us up. Right. Nothing here says, not one. Now, fucking Michelle Williams, that's a whole different story. But everybody else, no. I think everybody that it was deserving. Is there anything that you could say like, I could see where they tried to do that? They get. Right. In your opinion?
No, I wouldn't say yes, but I would say that I disagree that there's not been movies in the past that did not have the machine behind them that could have been on this level. And maybe it didn't have a name attached, like Ava DuVernay or, I mean, what did I see last year that I really thought should have been? I can't think of it right now. Nothing's coming to mind, just in particular. But I'm like, there are movies that I've seen. I don't go to Tyler Perry movies, so there are movies that I've seen with Black actresses. Just even if it wasn't the whole movie was the cast, where I feel like, wow, that was an Oscar-worthy performance, at least a nomination. I mean, Naomi Harris has been in freaking Bond movies. Like, this is not her first foray into a pick. She's been a Bond girl, and you're telling me she's never done anything else but playing. And even she didn't want to play this because she was like, I don't want to play a crackhead. But when Barry Jenkins explained to her, this is my mom you're playing, she's not just some crackhead.
Well, and I thought that was a difference because we had, and for a long, I guess that my thing is that in the Black movies, we either get the real bad crackhead, like out on the street hooking. We never get these functioning crackheads. And she played a functioning crackhead. Yeah. I make sure my kid's clean. He has a book bag. He goes to school. But then I get high.
Right.
And then we saw her downward spiral, but then she comes back up at the end, like, okay, now I'm trying to be regain myself and be his mother from when I left him, out there on his own. I don't know.
Because I'm really I mean, I still don't understand why Birth of a Nation wasn't nominated for something. I think that I know they hate it, but if Casey Affleck with his fucking rape allegations could get a nomination. Me being cleared of rape should not get me blackballed.
So what did you think? Blackballed. But what did you think about that movie? Because I knew the Nat Turner, right?
Nat Turner was the person.
Yes, and I read the story, and he had a story that was unusual to our ones that we learned in grammar school. He was like, "Fuck your peace, fuck getting along. We're gonna kill some motherfucking body, and they're gonna give us our freedom."
But he evolved to that, and that's what the story tells you. It tells you how. He was the instrument for slaves obey your masters. They took him to plantations and had him convincing other slaves why you should be doing this. This is your, as they said in The Color Purple, this life only lasts a while. Heaven lasts always.
Forever.
So you think I think because
he should have got the nod.
He got such shit for being cleared of rape.
But outside of that, did the movie deserve the nod?
I think it did. It was action packed. I thought the acting was very good. I enjoyed it. Not even just him. The girl from How to Get Away with Murder who played his wife. I thought she was very good. I think that was. I don't want to say that was the reason why all these others got to ignore that. I'm just saying that there have been movies in the past that have been shut down from other reasons.
Birth of a Nation would have been this year nominated, right?
It would have been. But my point is, for whatever reason, if it wasn't, you had Denzel. So I don't think Fences would have been blackballed, but there have been other reasons that people have found to not support black movies that could have had this caliber of year.
I don't know. Recently, I haven't found, and to keep it all the way 100. Recently, we weren't bringing it. We just weren't. Mm-hmm. We got comfortable, and I mean, I think last year it had to be last year because I remember my mother talking about this fucking Medea movie. Like, we only had Medea.
Right.
And it's like,
I see what you're saying.
This cannot be us. And then y'all get mad that we're not.
All of us.
Yeah, and then you get mad that we're not being represented because we're not representing. Mm-hmm. Step the fuck up so we could get there.
Right.
And that's how I felt about it. I don't know. I can't remember one movie, a black movie where I could say, they got you.
Right.
They should have got a nod.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how the Oscars and the Academy go forward because now, if you're telling me that it was 3 Best Pictures and 3 documentaries that came out this year, then that means we should be getting a whole lot of projects greenlit for next year.
Next year, hell yeah.
And we should have just as many actresses and actors and all of that stuff for next year because they killing it.
Who was it that said, or you know what we could do? Stop sitting around with our hands out. Stop waiting for them to do it. Put our money behind it. And then we do it. Yeah. I mean, so we'll see how that works.
If, to close one, I am not anti-Tyler Perry.
Fuck Tyler Perry.
No,
fuck him.
I think if he, as you said, he has a studio. If you have Medea on this side of Studio A funding Birth of a Nation in Studio B, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, to find a balance.
If you are using the Step and Fetch It to fund this other side, I'd go to see every fucking Medea movie that came out.
No, the fuck you won't.
I'd buy a ticket and just say I did. But just to fund you bringing out one Birth of a Nation every year. You know what I mean? But he's not doing that.
No,
and I would. Absolutely. That's why I shit on him.
Yeah, I shit on him too because of that. Because I feel like that, like I always said, if he was white in Hollywood, he would have been gone by now.
Oh, definitely.
But because
they keep trying to get rid of Mel Gibson's ass, he just keep coming back.
Mel thought I was gone. I'm back in with another baby.
I talk about whatever. Bring my young bitch to the Oscars. Looking like my daughter.
Baby. Now, fuckers thought I was going to die. All right, so let's wrap up this special Oscar episode of The Life of a TV Addict.
So you still get a recommendation because we're going to recommend OJ Made in America.
Uh-huh. And Moonlight if you haven't seen it.
I recommend all of them except for Hacksaw Ridge. It don't interest me. But if you only got 2 to see, yes. Moonlight, Lion.
And Lion.
Yeah. Lion it's going to take you there to a place. Don't get confused if you have no subtitles in the beginning. The story will unfold and it's a beautiful story. That's all I can say.
Okay, so but this year I was happy with Oscar season and the Oscars as a whole. So we'll see what next year bring. Okay, so we're gonna sign off for this, and then you can catch us on our
Life of a TV Addict / Oscar season movie addict.
I know. Maybe that's what we should have named this. All right, so I'm Sasha. I'm on Twitter at JMOAbout. Oh, we gotta get what's the name? Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Poppin'. We're gonna do that.
I don't do that much, but this is Notorious FPG, Fat Pretty Girl, addicted to all things TV and movie.
Okay, so we're gonna get out of here. Make sure you subscribe to us on SoundCloud and on YouTube so you won't miss any episodes. Life of a TV Addict.
Have a good week.
All right.